Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. We are at a juncture in Bhagavad Gita where Bhagwan is asking us to give up everything, go beyond everything. And the verse again, you have heard it in a few times now, last two classes again. Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja aham tva sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma shuchaha. This is the verse we are doing. And sarva dharman parityajya, giving up all, sarva, all dharma, duties, righteousness, whatever you think that is your you are ought to do or ought not to do. Parityajya, give it up. Then what will happen? Then we become available for liberation. Without giving up, in Upanishads the sentence comes, Tyage naike amritatva manashuhu. Only na karmana, na prajaya, na dhanena, tyage naike amritatva manashu. Where did we read it? Kaivalya Upanishad as well as Mahanarayana Upanishad also it came, isn't it? So, na karmana, not by karma, liberation is gained. Na karmana, na prajaya, not by progeny. Meaning, progeny means not just having children. Progeny means being attached to people around. Thinking of how will I die, who will take care of me in my old age, who will light the my pyre, who will chant the mantras when I die, etc., etc., all that. Or you want to extend yourself through your children. So whatever, majority of so many cases I have seen in Melbourne, whatever the way their parents behaved with them, exactly the opposite they behave with their child. So when this person, just one example, this person when he was young, the father hardly took interest in his studies, because he was having smart. But after he grew up, no, my father never showed any interest in my studies. I have to show interest in my children's studies. My father never took me to any philosophical discourses or satsangs. I have to take my child also to the satsangs. And then what happened? That child is not interested, and you are taking that child because my father did not do it, now I must do it. So he wants to live himself through his child. So na prajaya, na dhanena, not by wealth also liberation is gained. Because in all these three, karma, your attention is on body identification is paramount, and your attention is only on doing. In prajaya, your mind is attached, it is hooked to the children, to the relatives. In wealth, your attention is again hooked to wealth, by which you feel that you can provide yourself whatever other people are lacking. that it is required for survival. Then what is the answer? If it is not these three, how is moksha gained? Tyage naike amritatva manashuhu. Only by giving up everything, liberation is gained. Here the word is amritatva manashu, immortality is gained. Whereas in this verse, moksha yashyami ma shucha. So, parityaja, give up. Here, giving up means what? We have said it again, we'll keep repeating it because it's healthy to think in this manner. Sarva dharman, if you think you are the doer, give up the doership. Instead, see that it is some higher power which is expressing as the actions, which is making this hand move. Action happens where? Manasa vacha kaya. The thoughts, the words and the bodily actions, this is where activity takes place. What is happening at the sensory level? Is activity taking place? No, illumination is taking place. Understand? Here activity is taking place. If you say blinking of the eyes, that is an activity. But seeing is not an activity. Seeing is illumination. Thinking is activity. Movement is there. Speaking, movement is there. Acting, movement is there. Wherever there is movement, that is where the activity is. So what are these places? Mind, speech and body. So what is making this body move? What is making the speech come out of this mouth? Because of what this speech is possible? Who is the prompter of this speech? Who is the inspirer of this speech? See? Who is the knower of this speech? At this very moment, who is the inspirer of the thoughts, the ideas? See? So, parityaja, instead of taking ownership of everything, we learn to give up. And giving up is not that I choose to give up. No, I choose to see, I remove myself out of the equation and see that there is some X factor, some higher principle. Bhagwan is saying, I am that X factor. He doesn't say who Bhagwan is, but we have already explained that. So, what is that which is beyond, which is not only inspiring this equipment, but all the equipments? In yesterday's class also, if you heard the Upanishad class, there also the similar thought came. So, the sarva dharman parityajya. See, eyes are seeing, but we come and say, I am seeing. Tongue is tasting, we say, I am tasting. Body is acting, we say, I am acting. Mouth is speaking, we say, I am talking. Mind is thinking, we say, I am thinking. Unnecessarily, this unwanted entity called I, as an individual, as an ego, it comes and attaches itself. It cannot help it. Because by nature, in essence, this I is infinite in nature. So it finds that it is everywhere, so it feels that it has to attach everywhere. But in that attachment, it builds up a relationship, and that's what is damaging. That's what is constricting. That's what is limiting this I. Infinite I, because it attaches, thinking that by doing something, by speaking something, by thinking something, by some activity, I'll be able to achieve. I'll be able to be happy. This wrong notion has to be removed by the seeker. Here Bhagwan is telling him, Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. Come and surrender. Surrender means what? Surrender is not just going and banging your head at the feet of the Lord in a temple, or lighting the lamp and ting ding 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 ding. Today is Hanuman Jayanti. So what is our surrender to Bhagwan? Send SMSs to everyone. So everyone is sending. I said, this time I am not sending it. As if by sending someone is going to get love for Hanuman. And I need reminder. Or you see Hanumanji in your life. See? So that is our spirituality. What is that? We give up Hanuman. You're giving up, no? So we're giving up Hanuman. Go to everyone. Don't come to me. By SMSs. A way to look. Because if we are really sincere with our and ready to surrender to Hanumanji, we won't have a thought of extrovertedness. We won't have a thought that I must, before I begin Hanuman, before I contemplate on him, I think Nagaraj needs it more, so I'll send it to SMS. It's stupid, isn't it? But this is how we behave. Mame kam sharanam vraja. So, for a very tamasic, means very gross oriented person, going to temples is okay. So you decide where you are. No, I'm Sattvic, forget it. So what should be our understanding of Mamekam Sharanam Vraja? Our understanding of Mamekam Sharanam Vraja is that in and through every event, in and through every experience, in and through every contact, in and through every sensory stimuli, in and through every speech, in and through every act, in and through every thought, our attention is on that divine, who is the inspirer. That is true surrender. Everything else is only hypocrisy. You are doing it for others people's sake. Lying down long, putting marks everywhere. Nothing wrong putting marks, but putting mark to show that I am belonging to this tradition, I am belonging to that tradition. In this tradition, we do namaskar only like this. All that is gimmick. Surrender does not happen outside. Surrender always happens inside. What happens outside? If surrender happens inside, what happens outside? Tell me. I'm asking. If surrender happens inside, what happens outside? Or you're moving towards surrender inside, what happens outside?
You will be humble.
Okay.
You don't give value outside.
Okay.
Not having any reaction to the events outside.
Very good.
Detachment, Swami.
Detachment. But you have to still live in this world.
So you dovetail.
You have to still live in this world. So if surrender is happening outside and you can't be surrendered continuously, initial stages, or even at as you go deeper and deeper, like when you go to sleep, you get refreshed. What happens outside? So you get refreshed inside. What happens outside? You involve in the world with great vigor and inspiration, with freshness, isn't it? So when we surrender inside, what happens outside? All these things happen, but what happens is seva, service to the mankind, service to the creation, service to the universe, as an expression of the divine, that this entire universe is that same Lord, is the Lord to whom I am connected. See, this has to click. So this is surrender. But our surrender is outside. Our surrender is doing the puja of Bhagavad Gita but never reading the Bhagavad Gita. Our surrender is to the stone statue or a photograph but never trying to understand what it represents. Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. When this happens, what all the points you just now mentioned, all that is aham tva sarva papebhyaha. Aham, I, tvam, all of yours. Tvam, sarva, all yours, sarva tvam, papebhya, all your sins, I will take away. And what is that sin? What you answered just now. The extrovertedness, the attachment to the world, taking the world to be real. See, all that will be taken away. Then instead, Moksha yashyami maashucha. Then what will be your vision? That everything is that divine alone. So before we were serving the Lord inside our heart, in our core, making every stimuli as an opportunity to come to the center. Now that we have merged into the center, now that we have discovered that we are not separate to Him, eyes are still open, you are not dead, body is not dead, not you, body is not dead. So when the body again comes again from the meditation, it comes out from that. So do you lose the connection with the divine? No. Now the vision is Sahasra Shirsha Purusha Sahasraksha Sahasrapad. Everything is that one divine alone. And this you are not telling yourself because individual is no longer there. He cannot say this statement. This others who are watching, they are saying. Who are the others? Scriptures are watching. Scriptures are the other. They are telling, this is how this person then Moksha yashyami maashucha. He says, I bestow liberation. What is liberation? Liberation is nothing but transformation of vision. When our vision transforms, automatically our actions will correspond to the transformed vision. The thoughts will be different, the speech will be different. I gave this example yesterday or in the last Jnaneshwari class, that if a mother is standing in front of a child, she can never think of being a wife. She'll only think of being a mother, and only those type of words will come out of her mouth, isn't it? Only those type of feelings will come out of her. The very next moment she shifts to her husband, she cannot think of being a mother in front. Maybe nowadays it's possible. See? So like that, where is our attention? Our attention was at the feet of the Lord, at the center or core of our being, who we are essentially. Who is this God whom I have to surrender to? Not even whom. We know already it is the Bhagwan. Now we are thinking about that principle. And what is that principle? It is this conscious principle. It is not an inert one. Where is our attention? Only on the inert. World is inert, body is inert, breath is inert, thoughts are inert, speech is inert, convictions are inert, waking dream and deep sleep are inert. Everything is inert. We are talking about your attention is on the conscious principle. Who knows that all these are inert? That fellow. Be that. And who is he? He is everywhere. Who is he? He is all-knowing. He is omnipotent, he is omniscient, he is all-pervasive. He is eternal, he is unborn, he is undying. He is continuous. He is one without a second. Wow. That I am. We are approaching with doubt till we don't get convinced. And till we don't get convinced, for this intellect, logic is required. That is what Shankaracharya gives us, or Jnaneshwar Maharaj is giving so many examples. But also bhav is required. So with bhav and logic, both of them, the mind and the intellect. Mind is where the emotions are, intellect is where the logic is. Both have to marry. One doubt is enough. I can use the word doubt only. One thought, one doubt is enough to keep you from being that. And when I say one thought is enough, it does not mean that you are not supposed to think. One thought which is taken subjectively as, I think I am not. Gone. I think I have to do more to get to him. Gone. I think in this life is too short for me to get there. Gone. I am trying so hard, but it's so difficult to surrender. Gone.
Subjectively, such a thought is not possible.
From the conscious point of life point of view or the consciousness point of view, this thought is not possible. It's not possible. Yet, mind is free to think thoughts.
Sure.
So the person may have vanished. The seeker
Into the-
may have vanished
into the
in
objective-
surrender.
Into the objective.
No, into the subject. The seeker has vanished
Sure.
into the eternal subject.
Yes.
Meaning the individual self has recognized by surrendering to the infinite self, the universal self, that, hey, that is surrender. Now what is it? Is there an individual self left? No, there is only universal self left. But because universal self is there, does it mean that the mind has stopped thinking? It can continue thinking. It can continue thinking. The body will continue acting. The senses will continue perceiving. The hunger will still come to such a person. Sleep will come, waking will happen, everything will happen. But there is no owner. There is no owner of it. There is no owner. Aham tva sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma shuchaha. Worry not, grieve not. I will bestow liberation upon you. All you have to do is surrender. Our shortcoming is we want to keep the identity of individuality intact and surrender at the same time. It is not possible. You understanding what I am saying? We want to keep the individuality intact and surrender. What is your experience? Is it possible? Have you ever experienced this?
Yes.
Tell?
There is nothing to tell. I mean,
Okay.
yes.
Watch. The waker I, that's the ego. That's the individuality. It has to go out of existence in order to surrender to sleep. Till that I is there, sleep will not happen. Correct? Exactly the same way. Till the I is there, till then surrender will not happen. Surrender to the divine. Surrender to the self. Self meaning not only this self, but also that self by nature is infinite. So till the I is there, we are knocking on the wrong door. Still efforts are there. Still separation is there. Still the feeling of separate difference is there, that me and the divine. I have to merge into the inner. I have to surrender. It begins that way. But then that is where the scriptures come into play, to give you the understanding that what I am surrendering to is my essence. What I am surrendering to is the consciousness. From devotion point of view, what I am surrendering to is the Lord, the Ishvara, and He has already said that I am situated in everyone's heart. So where there is the place for me? So who am I then? Am I an individual? Or am I the infinite? See, this is Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja Aham Tva Sarva Papebhyo Mokshayishyami Ma Shucha. Continuing, which verse did I say? We have to start from 140?
1421.
1421, okay. Where is it? 1421. So here, in the last 5 OVs from 1415 to 1420, so, O talented Arjuna, you realize me through knowledge and surrender yourself to me. So, again, surrender is an act of, it will not happen by logic. It requires the mind, it requires the bhava, it requires faith. Knowledge and surrender yourself to me, so said the omniform, omniscient and omnipresent Lord Krishna. Then Lord Krishna of light complexion extended his right arm adorned with a bracelet and embraced Arjuna, the prince among devotees who had surrendered himself to him. This is exactly, now if you can play the game in your mind, this is how the sleep embraces you every night. This is how the consciousness embraces you every night. Every moment it is happening. In fact, it has never stopped embracing you. We are using the word, it has never stopped embracing you because you feel you are an individual. That's why we are using this language. Space has, from time immemorial, embraced this whole universe. It has never abandoned it. Isn't it? Exactly like that. If we become conscious of this embrace of the divine, how from within and without, if you listen to yesterday's Kathopanishad lecture, from within and without, how this conscious, infinite conscious self, infinite consciousness, just as is embracing, just like water is embracing every ocean and every wave, from inside and outside. With this understanding surrender, Bhagavan is telling. Not merely Krishna, 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 Papoham, Papa, Papa, Karmaham. Okay. This is not surrender. This understanding has to be there. That He is pervading inside and outside at any given moment. Not only this body, He is embracing the entire universe. So there is no place for me. Only you are. Embraced Arjuna, the prince among devotees, who had surrendered himself to him. The embrace was only a pretext to bestow on Arjuna that secret which is not within the reach of words. How much can we can write a PhD on all this? So much. Bhagwan in Amrit Anubhav, Jnaneshwari Maharaj is telling so much. First he said, do the jap, Vaikhari Madhyama Pashyanti Para. The very next chapter he says, word cannot take you to truth. First he tells, do chant the name. Then he says the word cannot take you to the truth. Then he says, Satchidanand, if these are the words that you call the truth by, they are abuses to the truth. So what are these words? Oh, they are only opposite, there to cancel the opposites. They are product of ignorance. All words are product of ignorance. Then in the next chapter, he says, ignorance cannot be. There is no place for ignorance in this creation. Because otherwise there will be divine and there will be ignorance. Two of them are coexisting. Not possible. So we are doing, on the Sundays we are doing Ajnana Khandana. Non-possibility of ignorance. Ignorance cannot exist. So same way, Bhagwan is this. Now, if you cannot use words, you cannot call the truth truth. You cannot call say that I am caught up in ignorance. Now, where are you then? Neither you can catch something, neither you can revel in your ignorance. What do you do? When we come to this point, that's when we are becoming, when we have worked everything out and we come to this crossroad, that's when the grace is always flowing. We are thinking so much only because that's why thinking is happening. When we come to this crossroad, I is melting away. And when I melts away, the grace which was always flowing, it becomes available and it embraces or it pervades. And thereafter, that ice cube which was looking, what is my source? In that, he melts away and now he's become the infinite waters. That cube is the individuality. It melts away in that search, in that surrender. And then there is no one left behind. There is no ice cube left behind to say, hey, I become infinite. And it's not necessary for the ice cube to melt to know the infinite waters. Because what is the material out of which it is made? H2 only, water only. So the embrace was only a pretext to bestow on Arjuna that secret which is not within the reach of words. This example Mahatmas give, modern Mahatmas. Someone is telling who has never tasted a chocolate, and you say, have you tasted a chocolate? No, I have not tasted. Chocolate is this company, that company, Lind, this, that, Ferrero Rocher. Acha, what is it? No, when you you are in bliss, then it slowly melts, it's silken texture, and it's so invigorating. What the other fellow is saying, this fellow is enjoying so much only thinking about it, but still he does not get it. He's understanding everything, but he's not getting it. In the end, what will the person who's explaining him chocolate do? He'll bring another piece of chocolate and give it to him. And once he tastes the chocolate, then are there any words required? No. Exactly the same way. Words are a barrier between you and yourself, your true self. Words are a barrier. Surrender takes care of that. In and through all activity, that secret which is not within the reach of words, which have to beat a retreat along with the intellect before it. So, the waking intellect has to beat a retreat. The waking mind has to beat a retreat. The waking senses have to beat a retreat in order for sleep to embrace. Isn't it? And what are your convictions? I am awake, I am a man, I am so many years old, I was born on that day, I am a family person, or I am a sannyasi, that I am in the bed, I am the one who is feeling sleepy. All this is the data and much more. All this has to be given up. And where is all this data? Where is this conviction that I am a man? It's only in your intellect, it's not in your body. And that you call as I. This I has to melt away. And it cannot happen by merely logic. It can happen by logic and understanding and surrender. Both. Continuing now in the हृदया हृदय एक झाले ये हृदयींचे ते हृदयी घातले द्वैत न मोडिता केले आपणा ऐसे अर्जुना दीपे दीप लाविला तैसा परिष्वंगु तो झाला द्वैत न मोडिता केला आपण पे पार्थू तेव्हा सुखाचा मग तया पुरू आला जो धनंजया तेथ वाडू तरही बुडोनिया ठेला देवो सिंधु 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 सिंधुते पावो जाये ते पावणे ठाके द्रुणा होये वरीरिगे पुरवणिये आकाशही तैसे तया दोघांचे मिळणे दोघांनावरे जाणावे कवणे किंबहुना श्रीनारायणे विश्वकोंदले. He says, by mingling his heart with the heart of Arjuna, now he is talking about what is surrender. What is this embrace doing? What is this? He is trying to explain that embrace, Bhagwan or Jnaneshwari Maharaj. He says, by mingling his heart with the heart of Arjuna, the Lord transferred the secrets within his heart into the heart of Arjuna and became united with him without the loss of duality. Huh? Contradiction. The mother is absolutely in tune with her child. So she knows what that child's cry is for. Shushu or hunger or change of nappy or wants to turn around or it's getting hot or it's cold. An in tune mother knows. There are many types of mother. So similarly, that Bhagwan, what is his nature? Infinite. What is his nature? Satchidanand Swarup. And we have seen in the 7th chapter, in the 9th chapter, in the 12th, 11th chapter, that he is the essence of, he is in the heart of everyone, he is the essence of everyone, he is alone expressing as the life in everyone. So here when he embraces, his heart and your heart become one. In other words, we are talking from his point of view, not your point of view. Because you are vanished. He is always. We have vanished as individual. He is always. So his heart has become one with your heart. Now, what is the condition of his heart? Is it having a heart attack? No. Is it having anger, greed, jealousy, hypocrisy, arrogance in his heart? No. Isn't it? His heart is absolutely pure. That purity pervades your heart now. Just like an iron filing in the presence of a mother magnet gets the properties of the mother magnet. Similarly, your heart, not even in the presence, that is also possible, but here it is embraced by the infinite Lord. Then all the qualities, the disposition of the divine, they enter into your heart, and that alone expresses. And for that, when he says without, you hear the words without the loss of duality, but what he says is within his heart, into the heart of Arjuna, and became united with him without the loss of duality. So duality, without the loss of duality. Duality is still continuing. The phenomena is still going on. But what has happened now? So where is the phenomena taking place? Phenomena is taking place at the matter level. Phenomena is taking place at the phenomenal level. At the matter level. But are you matter? No. In your presence, the matter becomes activated. Understand? In your presence, the moment you wake up, the body, breath, mind, intellect get activated. Just as the iron filings get activated in the presence of the mother magnet. Now what is happening? You have given zero value to this body, breath, mind, intellect, and your attention is on the divine. Now you have been activated by the divine. The qualities of the mother magnet have entered into the iron filings. The qualities of the divine have permeated the individual heart. This is the embrace. How nicely he is saying. And for that, you don't have to commit suicide. You don't have to remove the body. You don't have to remove the mind. You don't have to remove the breath. All those are funny caricatures of sadhana that are propagated, all valid in their own way, but they will not bring you to this point. Loss of duality, like a lamp lighting another lamp. Lord Krishna made Arjuna one with him by his embrace without breaking up dualism. So, this is what happens when we are in presence of Mahatmas. Just now I was 10 days delayed, no? In that 1 day I went to Mysore. Someone told me, Swamiji, please come over and stay with us in Bangalore. I said, man, I'm doing some work, so that's why I'm here. So let me do my duty here and then I'll come. And eventually I said, okay. So one night I went to stay with them and next day was Ram Navami. So I stayed at night, his brother came, his wife came, brother's wife came, and we had a satsang and we were talking about Mahatmas till 12 o'clock at night. And eventually I said, hey, what are you doing tomorrow? He says, no, tomorrow is holiday. I said, come on, you were telling me, Swamiji, you come with me. A few days before he had invited, but I couldn't go. I said, where does that Mahatma live? He said, in Mysore. I said, let's go there if you're free. He owns his own business. He said, okay. He immediately called. He said, cancel all my meetings. And next day we went. And this Mahatma, his name is Swami Hamsananda. And he has got a big following in Mysore and other places. But he has realized that again, Ram Navami, and he is a Ram Bhakta, and he has got these statues and pujas and everything. And he says, Swamiji, I am withdrawing from the world. It is happening. I am not making it happen, it's happening. Before, so many people were coming to me. Now I moved. During COVID, nobody could come. And I was absolutely comfortable. I felt it was better. Because nobody comes for seeking, they only come with their problems of family life. So he says, fantastic. Now someone has given me a house. I have moved in the outskirts, outside the Chamunda Hills. Some house, two bedroom house they have given him. He's staying there. And from the Ram Navami day, the day I went there, he said, from today I will not move out of this compound of this house for the rest of my life. What a sankalpa. I said, man, did Lord tell you to do this, or is this not an ego trip? That I will not move out of this compound? Why tie yourself down when the whole universe is for you to explore, or wherever life takes you? He says, life is telling me to do this, so I'm doing it. I'm not doing it out of running away from the world. I'm not doing it out of being cheesed off by the world. I'm not doing it out of no responsibility for the world. I've done. I've taken classes. I have inspired so many people, or people have got inspired. But now I am here 10 days a month. I will talk on Tulsi Ramayana, half an hour every day, and other time I will just sit quietly, chant, remembering the divine. Whole rest of his life. You must have heard of one more. This is called Kshetra Sannyas. Don't think this is liberation. This is not liberation. It may lead, who knows. Raman Maharshi also took a Kshetra Sannyas. At age 14, 16, he left his family, went to Arunachala. He stayed there for 18 years. Kshetra Sannyas, he said, I will not, till he left, till the last breath, he did not leave Arunachala. Kshetra Sannyas. He never even went out of the ashram, Ramana ashram. Kshetra Sannyas. It's okay. But it happens as a divine will, not as your own will. So only he knows, and I felt when I spoke to him that he says, no, it's all fine. I'm absolutely comfortable. This is how Lord speaks to you from inside. Like a lamp lighting another lamp, Lord Krishna made Arjuna one with him by his embrace without breaking up dualism. What is the dualism here? What is the dualism? Krishna is separate to Arjuna. Arjuna has his own body, Krishna has his own body. Isn't it? All the opposites that are prevalent in this nature. Nature is pair of opposites. All those opposites are still on. So in other words, Bhagwan is telling us, you don't have to deny this world. You don't have to run away from this world. Don't seek some esoteric, mystical experience where everything will vanish and only you will be, one divine will be there. That is your foolish imagination. Here you are completely grounded in this world. Everything is there. But instead of your individuality, now the infinity is expressing. See how that transformation has to happen. Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja aham tva sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma shuchah. Without breaking up the dualism. All is required is understanding. All is required. You cannot, or what do you need to understand? If there is a mirage waters, all you have to understand is that it is a phenomena. All you have to understand is that you cannot drink the water even though you can see it. All you can understand is that it is created under specific set of circumstances, isn't it? Then what I have to do? Wow, be in wonderment. That's it. Once you know, will you try to drink? Can you remove the mirage? Can you remove the mirage? You cannot. Can you say mirage is not there? No, your eyes are seeing it. Same thing with our rainbow. Whatever you may do, you cannot remove it. It is there. Your senses are perceiving it. And what is your intellect now? The divine. Everything is the expression of that one alone. So we are not denying dualism, but we are not enslaved, affected, reactionary, hooked into duality. What is that duality expressed as? Me versus you. This versus that. And what is the truth? Tattvamasi. You are that. See? Union. Surrender. Tattvamasi. So, a wave does not need to give up its form in order to know that it is infinite waters. An ornament doesn't need to give up its form in order to know that it is infinite good. Similarly, you don't need to focus on removing the form, the words, the thoughts, the emotions, the convictions out of your mind to know you are the divine. Here, chitta vritti nirodha iti yogaha is not valid. That is unnatural. What is unnatural? To remove all thoughts from your mind. But nature of mind is to think thoughts. How long can you remove the thoughts? Only for a certain period of time. Then they will come back. They will come back with a greater force if you remove it forcefully. When you build a dam, and if the dam breaks, the water doesn't trickle into the river. It comes with a great gush. So if we have through pranayama or through japa or through some other trataka or some other artificial exercise where willpower is required, efforts are required, we have built a dam to bring about chitta vritti nirodha. Be ready for the consequences. Then what do we have to do then if that is not the one? If that is not the way?
Perceive that the one is all.
So no forcing, no willpower has to be. If at all you want to use your willpower and make a choice, choose to surrender with understanding. How much time does it take that in front of my mother I am a son, in front of my wife I am a husband? How much time does it take to understand? Do you need to do any sadhana? No. I need to withdraw my senses. I need to withdraw my thoughts from my mother, and now I have to think in this manner. It's instantaneous. That instantaneous, without any lag, without any delay, if we are ready, individual consciousness to infinite consciousness, the shift takes place. How long does it shift? How long does it take you to shift from being a mother to being a wife? Or being a wife from being a wife to being the woman? Instantaneous, isn't it? Instantaneous. No delay. Then why we are imagining delay in being the infinite consciousness?
Because it seems so far away.
Why? It's instantaneous. understand and be. Then there swept such a great flood of happiness that even the all-pervading Lord got drowned in it. The embrace of the Lord to our Lord gave his hand, he pulled him towards him, embraced him, and in that embrace, what happened? The two became one. The ocean and the wave became one. The mother and the child became one. The ornament and the gold became one. The sleep and the waker became one. It's happening every night when you go to sleep. These are just words to explain what is taking place. And in that, the Lord forgot himself in that embrace. Just like in Bhagavatam it comes, the gopis lost themselves in Krishna's embrace in the dance of the Ras Leela, and Krishna lost himself in the gopis in that dance of the Ras Leela. Sometimes gopi thought they were Krishna, sometimes Krishna thought he was a gopi. See? These are facts noted down by people. Ramakrishna Paramhams, he did sadhana on many, on Allah, on Jesus, on Hanuman, on Radha and other many different. So while he was doing sadhana on Radha, what could be the bhav of Radha towards Krishna, and he is continuously thinking about Radha. He started developing breasts. He started having periods. It went on for 8-9 months. Then they had to stop him, and it took him another 6 months to come out of it and become normal again. Imagine with what intensity he must be thinking about Radha. Man having all this, going through all this. Similarly, when he started contemplating on Hanumanji, again with such intensity, his tailbone started growing. Again it took another 3-4 months for it to come back to normal. And these are recorded facts. But what was happening there? He wanted to be with one. He wanted to feel what was the bhav of Radha. He wanted to feel what is what you call Hanumanji. See, as a person, as a form. So here, then there swept a great flood of happiness, just like when we are ready to sleep, there is the floodgates of joy or floodgates of sleep open and you are sucked into it. Same thing is here. For happiness. And what is sleep? Bliss, joy, without any thought, without any reason, without any impetus, without any cause. So is this infinite joy. That even the all-pervading Lord got drowned in it. When a sea, and this is the greatness, Lord is seeking, looking out for a seeker, looking out for a devotee, looking out for someone who truly loves him. So is also Guru. Guru is also looking out for someone. Tapon Maharaj waited for a whole life, only in his late life that Chinmayananda came into his life. Many came, studied some, then went away. See? Then there swept such a great flood of happiness that even the all-pervading Lord got drowned in it. How, like an example is taken, when a sea meets another sea, doubling its water, it rises high in the sky to accommodate itself. So when the two met, they could not control themselves. Who could know and tell how it happened? The whole universe was chock full with Narayana, Krishna. See, when you go to those who have come with me to Himalayas, at different places, different rivers merge into the Bhagirathi. And wherever the river Bhagirathi is always, first it is Alaknanda, then it becomes Bhagirathi, called Bhagirathi. And as Alaknanda is going, she is always, everything is getting absorbed in her. She keeps making space for others to come in and merge into her. And once she merges, then there is no question of having a independent identity. Now, before Alaknanda, then Mandakini. Alaknanda begins from Badrinath, Mandakini begins from Kedarnath. They meet together, where we went down the steps. And once they meet, she absorbs Mandakini into herself. And wherever she meets, if you see where the two rivers meet, suddenly the water is higher there. And two distinct colors. And then thereafter it is called Bhagirathi. See? How I can explain this, how a seeker is surrendering to the Lord and Lord is coming to embrace him. If you have been to Ganga Sagar, did you come to Ganga Sagar? No, you haven't come to Calcutta.
No.
Calcutta?
No.
So if you go to Calcutta, from Calcutta to the south of Calcutta, there is Ganga Sagar. Ganga Sagar is a place where Gangaji, now called Hooghly, here, she meets the Bay of Bengal. And as she is approaching the the ocean, her speed increases. She can't wait to embrace, to merge into the divine, to the totality. And at the same time, the ocean is also very eager. It doesn't wait for the river to merge into it. It rushes towards the river. So you will find salty river quite far into the river also. So the ocean is rushing towards the river and the river is rushing towards the ocean. And then the union is complete. Exactly the same way. You are running towards sleep. Sleep is also waiting to embrace you. You are surrendering to the Lord. Lord is ever waiting to embrace you. You are a seeker. A teacher is ever available if you are a true seeker. See? And once that merging takes place, Jnaneshwari Maharaj is saying, who is to say what happened at that time? I am giving you these examples. But what could be that union like? Only, you can't even know subjectively because you will not be there. You will not be there. And yet it happens, we see everywhere. See? Then if Narayana has embraced Arjuna, or Narayana has embraced Arjuna. Narayana's heart and Krishna's heart and Arjuna's heart have become one. Krishna is essentially Narayana, the Ishvara. Then now from that moment onwards, what is everywhere? Only Narayana. What is Arjuna going to see? Only Narayana. And therefore he lived a doubt-free. He fought the war doubt-free. And then when towards the end Krishna concludes his incarnation and sends a message that Arjuna, please come and take care of my 8 wives. He had many more, but the main were 8. He says, please take them back to Hastinapur. And he came. And he not only ate, he tried as many. There were 16,108. He tried to take as many. But as he was going back to Hastinapur, the tribals attacked. And he could not defend them. Who? Krishna's wife he could not defend? No, he could not. He could not even lift his bow. And he comes back depressed. And he's quiet. And he's regretting, he's into why this happened. Me, the warrior who won the Mahabharata war. I couldn't lift my own bow. How come? Suddenly it dawns on him that till now, everything that was happening in him was by the grace of Krishna. But I am the warrior. I won the war. I lifted the bow. I have taken this vow. Nothing. So before we reach that stage of Arjuna, let's recognize. See? Continuing. एवं वेदाचे मूळ सूत्र सर्वाधिकारैक पवित्र श्रीकृष्णे गीताशास्त्र प्रकट केले येत गीता मूळ वेदा ऐसे केव्ही आले बोधा हे म्हणाल तरी प्रसिद्धा उपपत्ती सांगो तरी जयाच्या निश्वासी जन्म झाले वेदराशी तो सत्य प्रतिज्ञ पैजैसी बोलला स्वमुखे म्हणूनी वेदा मूलभूत गीता म्हणो हे होय उचित आणि कही एकी येथ उपपत्ती असे जेन नशतु स्वरूपे जयाच्या विस्तारू जेथ लपे ते तयाचे म्हणिपे बीज जगी. He says, in this way, now the conclusion, in this way the Lord disclosed the sacred text of the Gita which contains the quintessence of the Vedas and which everyone is qualified to study. So what is Gita? Gita is the essence. When we study Vedas, what are the Vedas? So many aphorisms put together, so many words put together. Then the Vedas are divided into 3 parts. The Karma Kanda, the Upasana and the Gyan. Karma Kanda is majority of the Veda scriptures, and they understand these Vedas are revealed scriptures. Revealed by whom? By the divine. Where is divine? Everywhere. So are the scriptures around it? Yes. You were available, so you are listening to it. If you are available, you will remember it. The words, no. Again, where is your attention? For those who are body oriented, for them Vedas tell them the karma kand, invoking the fire, doing the puja, remembering all those things so that they live a disciplined life and stop being a trouble to the society. Then those who have transcended that, they have understood that all this, if they are done in the right manner, purification has taken place. That purification of the mind brings them to a new disposition that they want to know the extent and scope of the divine. Then the suktams are there. The Narayana Suktam, the Purusha Suktam, the Devi Suktam. So today also we did Agni Suktam and what else? Some other one. Saraswati Suktam. So these are different hymns with meters or without meters, by which your mind is transported to what that aspect of divinity stands for. Then you may be attracted to Narayana, you may be attracted to Ganpati, you may be attracted to Saraswati. As you go through it, and if you are really sincere, you realize, man, there are so many of them. But the divinity is one. I understand that. Am I going to be, is the divinity in these suktams, or are they trying to teach me something? And every one of them is telling you, you are that. Huh? So either you take Ganesha and invoke him in your heart with devotion and understanding. The suktam is telling you the science of invoking the infinity in your heart through that particular deity, through that Saraswati, through that Narayana, through that Ganesha, through that whatever. So if it is through that, and once you have come to know that divinity, you have become convinced that it is one divinity, but the ways are many. These are the various aspects of the creation. Each one has its own position in the hierarchy. That's okay. But our attention is not on the hierarchy. Our attention is not on the various potentialities. Our attention is on the infinite. Hey, they are all one. But who is the one? They are saying, every one of them saying, I am in the heart. So I am more important than them. Or all of them are in me. Then who is me? This question, who am I, then brings them to the Upanishads. And once they come to the Upanishads, then there are hundreds of them. Hundreds of Upanishads are there, out of which we have studied only 9 of them. But there is one more, Chandogya, very huge composition, and Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, which is also even bigger composition. Maybe someday we'll take it, an overview of it. But as you study the Upanishads, so each one is telling you about that you are the truth, you are the essence, you are the source, you are the core, you are the infinite absolute reality. See? But Upanishads don't teach you how to live practically in life. They tell you only to be the truth. Upanishad is only for the one, Tyage Naike, he who has worked out that this world is ephemeral, that this world is temporary, that this world is finite. I have got nothing to do with it. I want to know that which is permanent. He is practicing discrimination. He has vairagya towards the world. He has fine-tuned the Shamadama, Uparama, Titiksha, Samadhans, Shraddha and Samadhan, these 6 limbs he has perfected. Such a person is qualified to study the Upanishads. But then, after studying the Upanishads, after knowing the reality, then there's no question left. But for those who have not known the reality, they study the Upanishads. Yeah, everything is Brahman. So they go and stand in front of an elephant. You are Brahman, I am Brahman. Do what you want. And he's dead. This train is Brahman, I am Brahman. I'll stand in front of the train. How can Brahman kill Brahman? No one there to find out afterwards that. Over. So this stupidity for an established. So these doubts, as you start beginning the study of Upanishads, you become, that's why you should study Upanishads under a teacher and in a secluded environment. Not in your daily rigmarole. You can, there's nothing wrong, but better that way. because it requires complete focus, complete availability. But the one where after 1 week of Upanishad retreat, then you come back, we have had many, then you come back into the world, then what do? You are interested, you have to do your duties also. At the same time, you are having vairagya also, you are having dispassion also, you are disconnected also, and you are not established also. A big problem. So either you dive into the Upanishads and finish yourself off completely, meaning transform yourself once and for all. Then there's no question to answer. There's no doubt left after that. But from individual seeker's point of view, who is living in this world and wants to know the truth, the essence of all the Upanishads has been captured in Bhagavad Gita. And here she gives you a practical approach. Karma, akarma, karma sannyasa, dhyana, step by step, it keeps, while you are in this world, you are learning how to approach the world. Upanishads don't teach you how to approach the world. Their basic premise is you must have already worked it out. That's why you are here at the Upanishad. Upanishad doesn't, they just say, qualification is Vivek, Vairagya, Shatka Sampatti, Mokshatvam. You understand? So you have already worked out that there are no answers in this world of variety. But here Bhagavad Gita is teaching you that while you are in the world, how to interact, how to live, how to perform actions, what will happen next. Which I have taken few times in some lectures, or towards the end we'll catch it, cover it again. So it takes you step by step, slowly, gently expanding your mind. In the first six chapters, there's no mention of the divine. There's no mention of anything. The Krishna doesn't disclose that he is the divinity, he is the Ishvara, or he is the absolute. Only in 7th chapter he comes and says, the whole universe is strung in me like the pearls. First statement. And immediately he backs off. Like he gives a teaser and then backs off. See? So slowly a mind of whose mind is being worked upon? A person who has lost the plot of life. So have you lost the plot, or are you still in control? I am in control of my life. I am in control of my family. My children are good. My children are very respectful. They are doing well. They are doing this. They are doing that. My body is doing well too. People love me. I love people. Everything is going hunky-dory. Such a person will never come to Bhagavad Gita. So for whom is, you have to be available. Yes, you can be available. You don't have to go through a crisis to be available to the truth. No doubt about it. No doubt about that. But we are living in an imaginary world where everything is fine. But if you tickle yourself a little bit or dig a little bit deeper into your heart, there is a big chaos. But we have covered it up. We are so smart that everything is fine. But inside there is a raging storm. There is a volcano. There is a tsunami of, just now in Bangalore also, where one lady, She says, Swamiji, I've been meditating for last 30 years or so. I've been listening to Swamiji for so many years. And I want to ask you, I don't have any questions, but can you tell me how I can stop my mind from thinking unwanted thoughts? Still the arrogance that I am doing my sadhana, everything is fine, but can you please throw some light upon how I can control the unwanted thoughts in my mind? Then why don't you ask straight away? This is what I'm saying, cover up. We live with a cover up. We have what do you call, a fake smile, a fake sense of superiority, a fake sense, oh, we have studied Upanishads, we have studied Bhagavad Gita, we think we are better than others. And sannyasis are also subject to that. I am a sannyasi. Now what? What after that? See? So all these facades that we are putting on to maintain the status quo of our life, to keep everything under the wraps. Once that opens up, then the first chapter. First you become available, that everything is not right. That is the first chapter. There it is told in a very dramatic way in the middle of the war. Yes, the war is here between the good thoughts and the bad thoughts, between the world and the divine. Which way do I go? This turmoil is there. What do you do about it? But first accept that this turmoil is there. And accept that you don't have a solution. That you don't have the answers. But we believe that we are know-all, And once we accept that we are vulnerable, then the question comes, what is the solution? Then the teacher comes into your life. Just as in Arjuna's life, Krishna has come in as a teacher. See? And this is the way. And here Bhagavan says, in this verse, what it is? So what I was explaining was the Vedas, the essence of the Vedas is Bhagavad Gita. Essence of the Bhagavad Gita, many masters believe, is the 15th chapter. Purushottama Yoga, the Supreme Person. Urdhvamulamadash-shakam ashvatham prahuravyayam chandansi yasya parnani yastam veda saveda vita adashchodhvam prasudastasya shaka guna pravruddha vishaya pravala. And it goes on. See? So we had the Vedas, they had the karma, the upasana and the knowledge. Knowledge there in Upanishads, we saw what was the requirement to gain that knowledge. But here, essence of all the Upanishads, they are giving different angles. They are teaching different techniques. But that is for a qualified seeker. Bhagavad Gita is for, you don't need to be a seeker. You just need to recognize that you are vulnerable. You need to recognize that you don't know. You need to recognize that you are not know-all. You need to recognize that nothing is in my control. And then the journey begins. Here he says, Vedas, and which everyone is qualified to study. Now you may ask how I came to know that the Gita contains the original thread of the Vedas. I'll explain to you clearly the theory underlying it, which is well known. The same Lord whose breath gave birth to the Vedas, who is true to his word, narrated this Gita through his own mouth. It is therefore proper to say that the Gita has its origin in the Vedas. So the Vedas are the breath of the Lord. And who is that Lord? Narayana. Who is that Narayana? He alone is appearing in the incarnation as Krishna. It's the same Lord. That Lord Krishna, who is originally who is not originally, always the Narayana, he alone is telling the Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. And therefore Jnaneshwari Maharaj is saying that I know it is coming from the Narayana himself. And through his own mouth, it is therefore proper to say that the Gita had its origin in the Vedas. There is another reason for this, that whose essential form does not get destroyed, but in which its potential growth lies stored up, is called its seed. So, what is that? Whose form does not get destroyed? Meaning, in other words, Purnamada, Purnamidam, Purnat, Purnamudachyate. That infinite, that divinity is complete. In that complete, something is created. What is created is also complete. What is left behind is also complete. So he has never, that form is never, what is that? Here, don't feel the form is with some particular shape. We are talking about the divine form. That divine form is never destroyed. And every form comes from the seed. Here he says that there is another reason for this, that whose essential form does not get destroyed, but in which its potential growth lies stored up, is called its seed. Just as see, what is our experience of a seed and the potential of the seed? If the seed is placed for us, from a seed, the seed has to be destroyed, has to split into two, has to lose its existence to express its potential as shoot and the root, the trunk and the branches and the leaves and the future leaves, etc., fruits, etc. Isn't it? The seed has to has to commit suicide, has to be destroyed in order for potentiality to express. But we are talking about that seed which does not get destroyed and yet potentiality is expressing. And what is that? That is the divine seed. Where is that? That is the Lord. Where is He? In your heart. Where are you? Not other than Him. Connect the dots and live in this understanding. We try to superimpose the worldly examples on the divine. It does not work. The growth lies stored up is called the seed. Okay, time. We will catch up again next week. 14:31 we have to start. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Hari Om.
Hari Om, Swami.